Hi there, and I am Michael Buckoff, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass a TOEFL IBT. And in today's video, I want to give you a very important speaking tip. We all know that in order to get 26 points in the speaking, there's 3 things you have to do very well. You need to have good delivery, good language use, and good topic development. Today, I want to focus on delivery, specifically focusing on intonation. So it's very important that you vary your intonation during the TOEFL IBT independent and integrated speaking tasks. Now, to illustrate, I'm going to give you 2 different examples of intonation. One, in the first example, the student has more of a monotone type intonation. The second one, the student actually varies his intonation more. Okay, the first speaking response is based on this question here, number 10. This is my independent speaking practice test number 10. It says, which do you like, to travel or stay at home when taking a vacation? I'm telling you that because it'll help you understand, at least when the student begins speaking, you'll be able to understand a little bit more about what she's saying. Now remember, I'm trying to point out by showing the 2 practice tests that one student has better delivery than the other. The question is, why does a one student have a better delivery? So let's listen to the first one.
I would prefer to travel on vacation rather than stay at home because of the first reason. I'm curious about travel around the world and also meet new people. For example, if I have vacation after completion of my first year exam, I would visit Italy and their famous places like Eiffel Tower or park or museum. I have chance to meet new people. Secondly, I would travel on vacation rather than stay at home because of I have learned many things. This helps to study better. It means if I visit a arts and science museum in Italy, I could get more knowledge on different topics. That way I can study better. For this.
Okay. In the second example you're about to listen to, the student will vary his intonation a lot more. Now in this particular recording by Shembesh, you will hear a little bit different example of delivery, and specifically in this case, Shembesh is able to vary his intonation a lot more than in the first example response that you heard. Now again, let's go back to the independent topic. So he completed number 50, and I have over 300 topics that I use in my online TOEFL course, by the way. Okay, so he's answering this. Suppose you want to get away for the weekend to relax during the summertime. Would you rather stay at a hotel at the beach or in the mountains? Give reasons to support your choice.
I would rather prefer to stay at a hotel in the mountains because it can help me to soothe my nerves and also can help me to escape from my stressful surroundings. First of all, choosing a hotel in the mountains can calm my nerves. For instance, I remember 5 years ago when I was living in Canada, I remember once I visited Fairmont Lake Louise in the Rocky Mountains. It was a great, relaxing, wonderful time for me because I remember that I was sitting all the time in the balcony looking at the peaked Rocky Mountains and the majestic crystal clear Lake Louise. It helped me to meditate. Second of all, choosing a hotel in the mountains can help me to escape the hustle and bustle of work from my hectic job, and then help me to back to work fresh and worries free.
Okay, now that you've heard the second example, and the question is, what makes the intonation better in the second example over the first example? Right? So in my mind, 3 things. There's 3 basic things that I think differentiates the tone in the second response from the first one. One is called sentence rhythm. Sentence rhythm is the combination of stress and unstressed words in the language. In Shembesh's response, he puts more emphasis and more stress on nouns, adjectives, adverbs, and verbs. He pronounces those words more clearly, louder, and with a higher pitch than he does with his auxiliary verbs, prepositions, and determiners. So it's that combination of stress and unstress, I think, which helps Shembesh to vary his intonation a little more. So that's one thing. The second thing I think that differentiates the second response from the first response is generally with his intonation, when he gets to the end of an idea, right? He's kind of going up and down. Certain words he's pronouncing more or less clearly depending on what the words are. But when he gets to the end of the idea, his tone actually drops, right? So that also helps him to vary his tone, because at the end of his idea, his tone's going to fall, but then as he's saying the ideas in the sentence, he'll have a combination of rising and lowering pitches in his voice. Now, the third thing that helps differentiate Shembesh's tone from the first speaker is called thought groups and blending, and specifically, I want to refer to what's called thought groups. If you listen to the first response, that first one that we're listening to, remember that she wasn't really pausing that much. She was kind of putting a whole bunch of ideas in there, and then she would kind of pause, but not very long, and then go to the next idea with not many pauses at all. So it was kind of difficult to take in all her ideas because she had few pauses, and she wasn't really differentiating her tone, so it wasn't even clear when she was done with one idea and when she was beginning a new idea. However, in Shembesh's response, he differentiates with thought groups. A thought group is defined as 4 or 5 stressed syllables. For example, Shembesh might say, I went to the store today to buy some bread. So he would pause after the word today. I went to the store today, and notice how the tone is slightly higher, and then he says to buy some bread. When he gets to the end of the idea, his tone drops. So it's those three things: sentence rhythm, and then just his general intonation patterns, and also with his thought groups, he's able to vary his intonation more than the first speaker. Now, of course, the first speaker, her TOEFL score right now is right around maybe 13 to 15 points out of 30. That would be my best guess right now. Shembesh already has received 23 points on the actual TOEFL exam. However, he needs a goal of 24 or higher, and that's what I'm doing right now, is to help him get a better score on the speaking section. And he's been making a lot of improvements. And of course, the first student will also make improvements. All my students get better, right? So in conclusion to this video, you might say, well, Michael, okay, I can understand how the first speaker has more of a monotone and doesn't have good delivery. I can also recognize how the second speaker has better delivery and a more varied tone. But Michael, how can I improve my intonation? How do I do it? And that's a good question. So I'm going to tell you one secret right now that, I mean, it's not really a secret. Most people probably know this, but they may not do it. But I teach at California State University, San Bernardino. And I teach thousands of students. I've been teaching for 22 years, right? Now, when I get a student in one of my levels who has very clear sounding pronunciation, I will always ask, how did you get your pronunciation so clear? What did you do before coming into our program? So the question is trying to get the student to help comment on anything that he or she has done in the background that has helped this person improve pronunciation. You know what they say? Movies. They say, Michael, I've watched many movies, so I'm going to tell you the same thing. Make a point right now to watch 2 or 3 2-hour movies every week. As you're watching the movie, really pay attention to the speakers, how they say what they say. Right? That's a great start, I think, with improving your intonation. Now, another suggestion is, you're watching this video at YouTube anyway, right? How about this? Find a song, find a popular song that you like right now, in English, of course, and put on your headphones, right? And make sure that the YouTube video has the lyrics to the song and practice singing. Now, you may be terrible like me, you may be a terrible singer, but nevertheless, practice singing with the singer, right? And really pay attention to how the speaker varies his or her tone in the song. So if you can do that, watching the movies on a weekly basis, and then also singing with some singers at YouTube, using your headphones and really practicing on your intonation, you can make progress, right? Anyway, thank you very much for watching the video. Now, if you're ever interested in joining my course, I would be more than happy to help you with your TOEFL speaking. If you want to find out more about my online course, just go to onlinetoeflcourse.com.